So let's start with what a typical day looks like as the new social worker within the police department. I get referrals directly from the police officers. The majority of my referrals come through that route. Every morning I get here and there's usually new referrals. I mean, they can range from mental health concerns, domestic violence, sexual assault, some folks that are struggling financially. I reach out to the families and individuals and let them know that a referral is made. And it could be a phone conversation about services. I set up appointments and I go through my day like that. Much of my day consists of going out in the community with folks that I want to meet with, talk about community resources, and ultimately my goal is to say, hey, what can happen so we don't have any more police involvement? What does it look like and how are you hanging in there? Also, I staff quite a bit with some of the officers who had that first response with the individual or family. I talk to the officers and we talk about what happened, what it looked like on their end, and also I want to update them after. So if I do work with the family, a lot of times I share information like, hey, the individual that you had a crisis with, guess what, they found a job. Or they're going out and they're 7 days sober. They're doing really excellent and they wanted to say, thank you for the intervention. A lot of the times the police officers don't get that good news and see that follow-up. They just see the instant response. Are they safe? Are they doing okay? And then they go on to the next call. I can determine that with my intervention, the police are less likely to get phone calls. A lot of times we do get folks that frequently call the police. And maybe there's a community resource or intervention that they could use that they don't necessarily need to take that step. That gives the officers more time. And also too is if they have questions for me, like, hey John, this is how I handle the situation. My experience so far with the officers, we have a very open communication. We talk frequently and we talk about the good and the bad. In creating this new position, I'm 7.5 months in. I've received 244 referrals, around 25% of which are mental health based. There's smaller percents which are domestic violence, sexual assault. I've worked with a lot of folks that are struggling with just issues maybe with a divorce or even child custody concerns. With COVID has been very tough on folks, especially with unemployment, some isolation. Brown County does have a lot of resources and it's my job to ensure that people are aware of them. And a lot of folks just don't realize they exist. So it's ensuring that, hey, are you aware of these services? What leads you in the right direction? And I also want to ensure that you're getting your needs met. My favorite kind of feedback is when I hear back from people I work with. It's the follow-up phone call saying, hey John, I'm going to my AA meeting, or check this out, I'm employed, I've been sober for 10 days. Those are the stories that really get me going and that I like to share internally, like, hey, this is what I'm hearing, this is what it looks like. I think the data speaks for itself when it comes to folks that aren't calling the police directly and then have the ability to, strategize for themselves. My goal ultimately is to work with someone, get out of their life so that they can handle the stressors. It's being reactive to a referral in the hopes of being preventative. It's empowering folks. That's the main goal here.